These are the diminished scale voicings, or voicings that are derived from the diminished scale. And they're going to be on F in terms of the dominant sound and F sharp in terms of the diminished sound. So they're going to be on the 1, 2, 4, 5 string family, and essentially from this scale, so for us that'll be an F7, an A flat 7, a D7, and a B7. And for the rest, there'll be the diminished major 7 sort of variety. For the time being, we're going to start with a very simple F chord, F, A, G flat, and C. So an F chord with a flat 2 or a flat 9. Now the idea is simply to find all the voicings possible on that string family using this family of sounds. And they'll be movable in minor thirds, of course. So we start here, I lower it to the B, and the resolution point is good to B flat. I can move the C to D, which gives me a 13 with a flat 9 sound. Sounds good going to the B flat as well. So sounds good, a C minor type sound. Sounds okay. Now we can of course move this up to E flat to get a more proper, I guess, sound. This is a 7 with flat 9, F, A, G flat, E flat, and of course resolving to B flat. It's fine. Also keeping in mind that all your F7s can do what? They can always resolve to E as well. And they can resolve down to an E. That sort of a sound. Okay, so continuing on. So a lot of inner voice motion possible on that voicing. Then we can move the notes on the second string. I'll keep it, tell you what, I'll go back to the C. I've got a sharp 9 on F now. And I can move the top voice down to B. Again, resolving nicely. That sounds good. Sounds nice. And again, we can use the proper sharp 9 here. So if we take this with the A flat, F, A flat, and E flat, we have the sharp 9 voicing on F. Okay. Now we can start to manipulate the other voices as well. So we have this A. I'll go back to this chord. That can go to a B. So in minor thirds, that sounds nice. Okay, so this is F, B, G flat, and C. Okay, now we can move it to C. So F, C, G flat, and B. So really 5th C sounding. Of course, for all the B flat resolution. And we can do the same F, C, G flat, and E flat, or F, C, G flat, and D. It's good resolution, good sound. Nice open, thick sound. And again, the nice part is we can really hear all the inner voice motion that accompanies that's possible. Okay, now we can also double up on those and start to move 2 or 3 different voices at a time, these sorts of things. So it's perfectly permissible to do any of those things. Okay, and that's just for the F. Now we're going to move backwards this way a bit more. Most of these voicings went in this direction or across. We might move them in this direction now and see what's possible. So we can start there. Also, we can get this F chord, F, A, E flat, A flat, which is a sharp 9 on F. Sounds nice as a resolution, or it sounds good as a resolution to E as well. So that's kind of nice, like an F sharp minor. That's in a very nice. Also, I move the top voice up. That's good. I like that. So this is F, A, E flat, B, like a B sound on top of an F. That's kind of an interesting sound. Also, F, G flat, E flat, B. So really nice sound going to an E, or let me see that F going to a B flat. Sounds nice as well. It's a good sound. So it could be C. Okay. Also F, G flat, E flat, C. So this, all these kind of nice inner voice motions. F, G flat, E flat, and C. Moving to E. Or, of course, now moving to E flat. Okay. And then technically we'll see that it moves to D flat, 2, and also G. So we'll see that later because we have the different dominants moving in minor thirds. But those are some interesting voicings starting on the F. Now, keeping in mind, we'll start on the F sharp now because that's the next note in the scale. So we need to find voicings that work with the F sharp now that come from that family of sounds. Here's the diminished seventh as a starting point. I use this as a starting point for F, and now a diminished seventh. Even just that sounds nice. Just moved up a cycle. That's very nice. So that works. But we move this, if we move it down to D, we have a D7. But if we move it up, we have an F sharp diminished major 7. Very useful. So especially in minor third. Okay, so diminished major 7 on F. Now, going back, we can move the middle voice to B. Very nice. And that sounds great as a B7 or an F7. Or, as we see, a D7. Or works as an A flat as well, going to D flat. So each voicing can resolve in 4 places. So I'll resolve this to D flat. That resolves now to E as a B, or resolves to a B flat as an F, etc. Continuing, that was F sharp, C, B, and E flat. So now we can do a double. So now we can take, this is a nice voicing, 2 tritones. So F sharp and C, B, and F. Resolving. So it acting as an F7, resolving to B flat, acting as a flat 7, which would resolve to D flat, right? And we take this, resolving to an E, and we take this, resolving to a G, acting as a B7, okay? And again, all movable. Very nice. Moving the middle voice now, the D. So now, sounds like a D triad, F sharp, D, A, and E flat. Resolving nicely to G. Maybe we can move the top voice here, and move that to F. That's nice. So, and then, that's nice, a nice sound. And again, we can move these in thirds. So this voice collapsing to this one, this voicing moving to this one. The D stays the same, moving to F. Okay, now also the F sharp can move. So if the F sharp moves to A, we get A flat, we get our original voicing. Obviously, if you move it down, you get an F7. Any of these you move down, you get your B. You move this down, you get your A flat, etc. And those we know. Now to go in slightly the other direction, and again, this is just a basic example of these things. It's not exhaustive at all. If we take this diminished seventh chord, now if we move it in the opposite direction, we saw this from the last part. Notice this chord voicing looks like a sharp 9, F sharp 7, A flat 7, sharp 9, flat 9, resolving to D flat. So, but also, again, this can now be a D7. So this is a D7 with a 13 and a sharp 11. So now it behaves differently because of the resolution point. Now it's an F resolving to B flat. And now it's a, we did A flat B thinking. And this would be an E with an F set. So this would be a B flat kind of chord resolving to an E chord. Okay, so moving backwards, and we already did the sharp 9 voicing, which was from another, but watch this one. If this, we can take this, that's a nice voicing, F sharp A, G sharp, and C. Also, F sharp A, F, and C. Very nice voicing. It's like an F triad over an F sharp in the bass. And of course that acts as an F chord. It acts as a D7 sharp 9 going to G, so it can do that as well. Can resolve to the D flat. It can resolve to E. It can resolve to, again, we said G, and then B flat, of course. Right? So that's going in the opposite direction. So we have this going to an E flat now. So now we have a regular F sharp A, E flat, and C. Okay. Now if we move this voicing up further, where it's a little more playable, we can actually move, for instance, if I move it up to C, E flat, B flat, and F sharp, if I can get a D. And that's a really nice D7 type chord. So for instance, A minor, a traditional A minor 7. And then you have this resolving as a D7. So that's a little more user-friendly. There it's user-friendly too, using the, coming from a whole tone chord, B, C, G sharp, and E. That's a good one too. Resolving to the E and the D flat, etc. The important thing, I think, is, in many respects, is knowing the resolutions from any station on the chord family. So, for instance, you have this chord, or whether it's this chord, being able to resolve it and going, okay, G, I can get right to it. It's no problem. Or this one. Okay, I need to resolve it to B flat. Oh, keep the F, no problem. Need to resolve it to the D flat, keep the F, or a G. Any of the. That's cool. And then moving it back and going, all right, I need to resolve it to B flat, or we need to resolve it to D flat or E, whatever it is, you're able to do it rather easily. So remember, all of these are movable. For instance, sequences are nice. You can take this one. This was the F, G flat, E flat, and B, and move it up to F sharp A, F, and C. Move it up again, G sharp A or A flat A, G flat, and D. Moving up to A, C, A flat, and E flat. Very nice. So sequences are definitely a part of what's fun about these. For instance, I mean anything. This one's nice. I start out with this F sharp, excuse me, F, A, G sharp, and B. Move up to the diminished major 7. Do it again. Even move the upper voice. Really nice. Those are the diminished, or an example, basic examples of the diminished chords on 1, 2, 4, and 5.